Russian soldier trying to hide. The Russian soldier targeted by the FPV drone. Russian T-72 tank neutralized by drone. Logistics attacks. Military vehicles being deployed. Stay tuned for more. A Russian soldier became the target of an FPV drone. While on a reconnaissance flight, a Ukrainian FPV drone spotted a Russian soldier trying to hide by standing motionless under a tree. The soldier quickly became the drone's target. A deserted house where Russian soldiers were hiding was the target of a very violent attack. Upon detecting movement in the house, drones equipped with high-powered explosives were launched for the attack. A second drone attack was launched on the site where a large explosion had already occurred in the first attack. A fiber optic drone pilot belonging to Ukraine's 414th UAV Assault Brigade managed to infiltrate Russian military positions in the Bakhmut region. The drone quickly scanned the area to locate Russian soldiers. Eventually, a Russian soldier stepped in front of the drone and was unable to escape. Ukraine's 414th Magyar Birds unit spotted 2 Russian soldiers searching for a place to hide among the ruins. The soldiers being tracked appeared extremely exhausted and helpless. Shortly after being monitored by drones for a while longer, an FPV drone attack was launched against them. The FPV drone, searching for a suitable position to attack, began circling around the ruins. Russian soldiers noticed the drone following them, and while one soldier managed to escape immediately, the panicked soldier who waited became the drone's target. Ukrainian forces launched an attack on Russian trenches using drones. Bombs were dropped on the trenches from a height of several dozen meters. 2 Russian soldiers were sitting in the trench waiting when a drone dropped a bomb on them like this. This time, Russian forces used FPV drones to attack abandoned houses where Ukrainian soldiers were positioned. Russian forces identified the locations of Ukrainian soldiers who had not yet withdrawn from the Pokrovsk region and targeted soldiers at specific positions. You can also support us by liking the video and leaving a comment. The Ukrainian Signum Battalion infiltrated Russian military positions in the Lyman region and identified and destroyed Russian military vehicles one by one. Despite Russian soldiers camouflaging and hiding military motorcycles, ATVs, and vehicles in wooded areas, they were still unable to escape drone attacks. While Russian vehicles were being destroyed one by one, it was observed that no precautions were taken against drones at the positions. The Lyman region is one of the areas where Ukrainian forces have put up their strongest defense. Russian forces continue to lose ground in the region, suffering heavy equipment losses. In the Andreevka region, 2 Russian soldiers who believed themselves to be safe were detected by Ukrainian reconnaissance drones when they emerged from their hiding place. The exact coordinates of the Russian soldiers emerging from the underground shelter were calculated, and Ukrainian artillery carried out a critical strike, hitting the location where the Russian soldiers were positioned precisely. 2 Russian soldiers lost their lives there. November 10th, 2025. Ukrainian forces disabled Russian military communication antennas. Several communication towers were hit. Later, Russian infantry on a logistics route became the target of drones. The Russian soldier who came under attack tried to escape from the drone, but his clothing got caught on the vehicle at first. Numerous attacks were carried out against Russian military vehicles along the same route, rendering them ineffective. Russian forces are unable to take defensive measures, even on logistical routes. Russian soldiers parked their vehicle in a garage where they were hiding but forgot to close the door. Shortly thereafter, kamikaze FPV drones launched successive attacks on the vehicle. A Russian T-72 tank was spotted that had lost its mobility due to damaged tracks. However, this was not just an incapacitated tank. There were 3 Russian soldiers hiding inside. A drone quickly approached the tank to launch an attack. The grenade mounted on the drone was thrown right through the tank's hatch. You can support us by liking and commenting on the video. The grenade landed right inside the tank and exploded. Most likely, the soldiers inside were seriously injured and killed in the initial blast. However, this situation reveals the true state of the front line. Russian soldiers continue to choose quite interesting places to hide, but every area is under the threat of drones, and nowhere here is safe. A Russian FPV drone destroyed an unmanned ground vehicle used by Ukrainian soldiers to transport ammunition to the front line. While the Ukrainian FPV drone was just flying around exploring, a Russian soldier suddenly started shooting from under a tree. The soldier, who was spotted because he fired, pulled the drone toward him. The drone crashed into the soldier at high speed. On the night of November 9th, a drone struck a Ukrainian ammunition depot at the port of Tuapse. The intensity of the explosion indicates that the attack was successful. A Russian FPV drone captured the moment 3 FAB-500 bombs hitting a multi-story residential building in Kostiantynivka. A total of 3 bombs were dropped on the building. This building was used as a command center where Russian soldiers were gathered. It suffered extensive damage. Reports indicate that a large number of Russian soldiers lost their lives. Ukraine's FPV-2 Kamikaze UAV struck a key building at a Russian oil depot. This attack on the village of Kuryan in the Crimea region is not the first. Russian-owned oil refineries in the same area have been repeatedly targeted, inflicting significant logistical damage on Russian forces. Russian soldiers waiting on the road for ammunition resupply encountered an unexpected attack. The soldiers, waiting in a completely open area, became the target of a Ukrainian FPV drone. The soldier did not notice the drone until the very last moment. The attacks were again carried out by Signum Battalion, Ukraine's most professional unit in terms of FPV drone attacks. This time, attacks were carried out on military trucks on logistics routes belonging to Russian forces. These vehicles were transporting ammunition, supplies, food, and various military equipment to the front lines. Russian forces have been experiencing significant logistical difficulties at the front for a long time because these shipments are not reaching the soldiers. These attacks are one of the reasons for this. The vehicles are being hit one by drones. Russian forces often build net barriers along these routes to protect against drones. However, this is only a temporary solution. Experienced Ukrainian FPV drone pilots are overcoming these obstacles by performing very low altitude maneuvers and continuing their attacks. Bryansk region, Ukrainian border guards of the UAS unit Chimera hit 5 Russian dugouts with FPV drones. The significance of the attacks on this region lies in the fact that it is one of the areas Ukraine rarely reaches. It is an area that Russian forces claim to have completely under control, and where no attacks have ever occurred. However, Ukrainian drones finally reached this region, detected the shelters, and targeted them. The Ukrainian Ivan Franko Group has again carried out a series of operations targeting a large number of Russian soldiers. A Ukrainian military unit identified military roads used by Russian forces on the front line and launched attacks by setting up FPV drone ambushes there. Russian soldiers were again seen riding motorcycles along the front line. However, this situation once again left them completely defenseless. In an operation lasting about a week, involving approximately 30 attack drones, a large number of Russian soldiers and vehicles were neutralized. By the way, your comments and likes on the videos give us a huge morale boost. We look forward to your support. As of November 10th, 2025, tensions on the front lines continued to escalate. FPV drones, kamikaze drones, UAVs, and a large number of fighter jets continued their fierce attacks in the region. Russian forces made significant progress in the Pokrovsk region with a critical attack. The advance of Russian forces in the city of Donetsk is still ongoing. Ukrainian forces are currently gradually withdrawing from the region and continuing their defense. Drones now control the front lines. Drones are changing the course of the entire war. For now, every country continues its intense counterattacks.